Okay, everybody, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Today's webinar is going to be one that I did quite a few months ago, but gosh, it was something I reviewed last week, and it was really powerful, so I wanted to do it again today. And it's about accountability to ourselves, and more so to our families. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the failures that we've all experienced, life's lessons, the experiences all along the way, and how to make something of all of it. Good, bad, ugly, different, whatever. How to turn it all into positive. A lot of you have heard me say that I'm the person that I want you to give me lemons because I'm going to turn them into lemonade. I refuse to allow for things negative to remain negative. I've got to find the best in everything. So how do we take all of that, maybe everything we've experienced in the last 6 years with the recession, and turn it all around? That's what we're going to be focusing on tonight. So I want to thank you for being here. And I'm recording this, and it'll be on my YouTube channel later tonight. So failures and successes come in all different forms, whether it's personal, it could be in relationships, marriages, relationships with our children, communications with people, how we come off communicating via email, right? Which, I think you'll all agree that it appears that people are very brave via email and text. And the successes also that we've experienced come in tremendously different forms. It could be in our business. It could be in our love of our family. It could be in us not procrastinating. It could be in us accomplishing goals that we set out to accomplish. So we're going to talk a little bit about these as we get into understanding what can result if you truly commit to making changes inside of ourselves, and what can we expect by making those changes? Because a lot of times we hear people say that, if you do this and do this and do this, and that list goes on and on and on of things that we should be better at. Well, what can we expect from getting better? Well, I can tell you that by simply acknowledging that some of the things that maybe you're doing today aren't working, by acknowledging that, by saying, what I'm doing is not working so well, and I need to change things up. Well, how do we do that? Well, we live a life of intention. What is it we're intending to get out of life? What is it that we're intending to bring to our children, to our grandchildren, to our spouse, significant other? What is it that we intend on delivering? Because I can tell you that as soon as you start living a life of intention, that's goal setting. When you intend to live a life, a prosperous life, a healthy life, one of truth, one of honesty, one of integrity, all of those things will replace the guilt that you will experience by having not lived a life of intention. Right? Because we feel guilty that we haven't provided. We feel guilty that maybe we haven't figured out how to speak to our teenagers better. Or we feel guilty about the way we've handled certain situations without acknowledging what we could have done differently to have had a better outcome. And here's the best part of this. As soon as you make that shift in understanding what it is that's driving you, what's your intention, what is it that you want, you're going to see people respond to you so much more favorably. They will, because they see that you've got a goal, you're driven, your desire is strong, you're going to be successful in everything that you touch. It turns the tide. When we live a life of intention, it is our roadmap to how we should live. And it's not what I think you should do, it's what your intentions are. What is it that you want? Do you want to be a better spouse? Do you want to be a better parent, a better grandparent? Do you want to provide more income for your family? Do you want to be the person that you haven't been by being punctual, by under-promising and now over-performing, as opposed to always over-promising and then barely delivering? The family unit will see this. And what a great role model for us to take the responsibility ourselves in living a life of intention. What is it? What's the desired outcome that we want from everything that we're participating in our life? And what happens is you end up becoming the role model to your friends, to your family. And a lot of it becomes subconscious. It's like my son Shane said to me a couple of years ago. He and his then girlfriend were looking at condos and townhomes here in Southern California, and they found one, and it was over $1 million. And he saw the house that he grew up in, and he goes, "Pop, how did you do it?" Well, I had an intention. I wanted you guys to think that what I had was mediocrity, so you would exceed, you would excel, and want at least this, if not more, for yourself. That was intention. So now the lesson he's learned is he's got to work hard to get what he wants for his family now. And what ends up happening is we can become that role model in our own lives to not only our children, grandchildren, our siblings, spouse, but all our business partners. By living a life of intention within your business as well, you'll see great successes occur. You can't help but see them. But we got to understand patterns. We have to be able to recognize what it is that we've done that has been successful. What are the things we've done that have caused us to fail? Right? What I like to do is draw it out on paper. Make a list of the things that you were successful in. It can be small things, right? But the things you were successful in, and then write down the common denominators of what was it that made you successful in those things. Were you excited? Were you encouraged? Were you inspired? Right? What was it that caused you to be successful? Then, on the other side of the paper, write down the things that you failed at and why you failed at those. And guys, as soon as you have it in front of you, black and white, it's in front of you. You can't deny it, but you've got to make the step to do it. Because once it's in front of you, we'd be idiots to not pay attention to what caused us to be successful more, and then make the changes to what's caused us to fail. And it's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful activity that gets us towards that proper intention, that goal. But you got to break the bad habits and exploit the good. That's the point, right? We take the things that we've done that cause us to fail. We say, okay, I'm not doing those again. And we take the things that have caused us to have successes, regardless of how modest, right? And we exploit those things. Because this is the fact of the matter is, if you're not going to do it, nobody else will, right? It's your life. It's your life with intention. It's yours. You own it. And regardless of what we hear, this isn't a dress rehearsal. Okay, so my suggestion is if we can totally take advantage of emotionally, psychologically, physically, all the things that we've done that have caused us to fail, we put those away. We wrap them up nice and tight, and you get rid of them by identifying all those common denominators and all of our failures. Isn't that a wonderful thing to be able to do? Isn't that seriously a strong thing to be able to identify on paper, making a mental note that we're not going down that road again? For me, it was procrastination. Wanting to be on the golf course all the time. Sorry, but that was me, and you used to hear me joke about how I'd I'd set my filing cabinet up in December for the new coming year for all my bills, and by February I'd have a pair of golf shoes on it and a wind shirt and a bunch of other stuff. My intentions were good, but they weren't real. There was nothing driving the intention. There was no understanding what my good and bad habits were and maximizing the good while depleting and diluting and getting rid of all of the bad. So, big thing we've got to do is we have to agree that we're not going to just simply pretend to change. Because what's it going to take for you to commit to the change that is proven? Leading by design, right? In proper intentions. And here's why, concerning our business. Are you somebody that will eventually go away, hear about Yasuru 2 or 3 years from now, having become, of course, disengaged, and then blame it on us or on the company? Or will you blame it on yourself? human nature is blame somebody else, right? Will you cause your teams to face these same truths that we're talking about? Because, guys, I can only do a webinar, reach out and touch, in this case, 13 people tonight. What I want you to do is understand the psychology of the message I'm delivering so you can take these messages each and every Monday back to your teams. Because if you were to say that you failed because you weren't supported, or the product really didn't work, which, good grief, if that's a way we're going to rationalize our failures, then you're going to continue to fail. Okay, we've got to be accountable. It's time to step up, be accountable for us. And if you're here, chances are you already are. But again, this message isn't necessarily for you. If it works for you, if you like what you're hearing, great. But this is what we've got to reach down into our organizations, identify the business partners, the leaders, and get them on the same page with us emotionally and literally. Right? That training we have, is just paper until we read it and we adopt it. Will you understand your strengths and weaknesses and simply make a commitment to becoming better? Guys, the impact, regardless if you're doing it for your business world or your family world, all experience it. It's a wonderful transformation. Will you stop the excuse train and make yourself responsible? It's so funny because I had a friend on Facebook today who posted a note about being careful what you hear from people because you simply can't trust a lot of them. And she contacted me last week and said, I need to call you. Give me your cell phone number because I need to join your business. It was about 10 days ago. And it was just before I was in New York because she's from New York. And I said, why don't you join me in New York? I'm going to be in the city. Never heard back from her. Sent her a message, hey, I thought you were going to call. Never heard back from her. Then she posted that note today. Be careful of people promising you things because you can't trust most people. Pardon me. So I put on there, on a comment underneath her post, be careful of what you want to believe. Be careful because the activities that we promise ourselves and don't perform on are more costly than what we listen to people that we shouldn't be listening to anyway. We got to focus our success on what it is that we want, what we'll do to get it, and our desires. Will you stop this excuse train? Take the responsibility, accountability time. Will you be 100% responsible for your actions, good or bad? And here's the big one. Will you commit to being here 3 to 5 years from now? Not just existing, but will you be here at a proven level of involvement that will cause you success? What level is that? That's completely up to you, right? It's your why. It's your desire. What is it that you're looking for? I can tell you that the ones that stay, the ones that don't quit, are the ones that win. It's that simple. I watched my son Kingston yesterday. We were hiking through the desert, and he wanted to run back to the house. And he started to slow down. He was going to stop. I said, what did I tell you last week? Quitters never win, and winners simply don't quit. It's not even an option. And it gave him enough steam to keep him going. It was hot. We're in the desert, and he finished. I was so proud of him. Because at his young age, if he can get that message that we all aren't really taught until later on in life, how wonderful is that going to be? So by committing to being here, because guys, 3 to 5 years is going to happen anyway. Whether or not you're with Jasur or not, the 3 to 5 years are going to happen anyway. So commit to reaching goals. Commit, and here's why. I got this card last February at the regional event from my son and daughter who came down from North Florida. I wasn't expecting them to come. And everything I do has been for my family. I just, part of me wants my family to be proud of me. Part of me wants my children to look up to me. Having no college education outside of a culinary arts degree, I've had great successes and I've had great failures. And I'm in the middle, on my way on the most incredible success ever. And they see my commitment. They see my passion. They happen to be in the audience and listen to me to speak to 500 plus people last February. And they had this card that says, they say that a job well done is its own reward, but still, you should know how much your hard work means to those around you. And that was important for me because it was very emotional that my kids are finally getting it, that they're seeing what their pop does is for all of us, and leading the way and showing them that with intention we can have whatever we want. And my son writes, another home run, Pop. Loved being able to see you perform at your best and with something you love. Thank you for always leading the way. Whew. Man, I get goosebumps that my son, my child, wrote that. And my wife wrote, honey, I'm so proud of you and all that you do for everyone, from our family to our business partners. Thank you for making my life incredible. My little one, Sophia, good job, Dad. We loved watching you in action. You know, these are things that mean so much, but none of this would have happened if it wasn't from my intention, living a life of intention. It's such an important piece. And then people, it's kind of like the Black Eyed Peas video that I show, where that one girl is out there dancing in the middle of Chicago and nobody's dancing with her. She's dancing all by herself. She's the pioneer. And all of a sudden, other people start. And they join. And they join. Are they going to join us if our intentions are wrong? Are they going to join us if our integrity is shot? If we say we're going to be there at 7 o'clock and we show up at 7:20 and we forgot the applications and nobody has a Sharpie, nobody's done any of the detail work. All of this results, the success results as soon as we make a conscious decision internally that we've had enough. Because you know what? The road to being successful is not vague and it's not impossible. It's not even all that difficult. But if we can't commit internally to making a shift where we exploit our strengths, we minimize our weaknesses, we live a life of intention driven by our goals and our desires that are unbreakable by anybody. You can't lose. It doesn't matter even what are you doing. You can't lose. And a great quote is, I can't remember who said this, but if two people agree, anything is possible. So what I want you to take from this is, how serious are you about changing things up? We've got the roadmap. We've got the leadership. We've got so many quality people on this webinar tonight, and leaders, people that want better, people that are willing to share and show exactly what that means. So what is it that you can bring to your teams tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month? How can you make them a little bit better? Well, it starts by us being just a little bit better. And there's so many things I need to do better at as well. And you know what? So nobody's exempt. And as long as we're committed to getting better and we're productive in understanding what it is that we need to be doing, guys, success is yours. You can't miss it unless you're asleep at the wheel. All right, so I want to thank you all. And I'm going to set up a poll here and ask you all to, I'm not sure how this works, but I did a one-question poll, and I want you to respond to it. And it's going to give me feedback on future webinars as well.